I'm glad to have you back on Beyond the Headlines. Happy Easter to all the viewers in Nigeria and overseas. We are celebrating Easter, the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ, even though this is practically impossible in Nigeria, where we are witnessing the aggravation of brutal killings. Against the backdrop of this bloodbath, the captain of the ship is nowhere to be found, leaving the ship to resign to his bloody fate. I bring to mind President Goodluck Jonathan, who uttered sacred words and said that his political ambition is not worth the blood of a single Nigerian.
Your ambition is not worth the blood of any Nigerian.
Today, the captain of this ship called Nigeria has abandoned it to be cannibalized by his enemies. We have dozens of rebel and terrorist groups in the battlefield. Yet, the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of the whole country is nowhere to be seen. His so-called excellency had been yearning and jostling to occupy Aso Rock. Now he has occupied it. He has fled from emergency. Well, an excellency who lacks the buoyancy to handle emergencies can never claim proficiency. At a gory time like this, President Bola Tinubu chose to go into a retreat of relaxation instead of a crusade against criminal armed groups wreaking havoc to our communities. The president has the political power. He has the authority. Let me say he barely has legitimacy, but he completely lacks the will to subdue these killings. The president had the strength to travel hundreds of miles across the seas, but cannot visit Plateau State to empathize with victims of terror attacks. Mr. President, you are not a king who has himself ensconced in a magnificent royal seat while dishing out orders or delegation. No, but you are a servant who must run errands for the people who elected you. In the face of terror, tragedy, and loss, Nigeria stands at a crossroads, and the actions of its leaders tell us everything we need to know about their vision for the country. Why terrorists strike and take the lives of innocent people in Plateau and Benue states. President Bola Tinubu is in London enjoying an Easter holiday. His response, he sends a delegation to express his condolences. In contrast, his arrival, Peter Obi, a leader who has long expressed empathy for the suffering of his people, is always on ground, visiting victims, personally sharing their pain and offering direct comfort. This contrast paints a powerful picture of what leadership looks like under Tinubu and what it could be under Obi. In a nation struggling with insecurity, presidency defined by detachment and distance, such as Tinubu's, leaves citizens feeling abandoned. Sending a delegation, while an appropriate formality in some circumstances, feels hollow when the people need direct engagement from their leader. This detachment makes the president seem more like an observer than an active participant in the country's struggles. It is a response that echoes from a leader who remains out of touch with the lived experiences of his people. On the other hand, Peter Obi's approach is rooted in direct action and personal accountability. When tragedy strikes, Obi doesn't simply send his condolences from afar. He steps into the devastated communities, listens to the survivors, and comforts the grieving. His leadership isn't just about policy. It is about presence. It is about the power of a leader who is deeply connected to the people, one who believes in showing up and standing with the citizens through thick and thin. This difference in leadership style is not just about optics. It is a reflection of a kind of president Ish would be. Under Tinubu, we have a presidency that prioritizes formality over empathy, delegation over personal responsibility. His approach to governance seems to lean on distance, possibly to avoid the pressures of confronting the harsh realities of Nigeria's most pressing challenges. But what Nigeria needs now is a leader who will engage directly with the pain of the people, not someone who watches it unfold from afar. No. Peter Obi's presidency, in contrast, would be a hands-on, compassionate leadership. It is a presidency that wouldn't be defined by leaving the country during its darkest moments, but one that would be driven by action, by visiting the victims of attacks, hearing their stories, and ensuring that their voices are heard in all halls of power. Obi's leadership would not be about symbolic gestures, but about building trust through consistent presence and accountability empathy also. At a time when Nigeria faces terrorism, poverty, and widespread corruption, the question isn't just about who governs. It is about who understands the people's pain, who can feel it with them, and who is willing to take personal steps necessary to heal the wounds of a nation. Why Tinubu's absence during times of crisis speaks volumes about the disconnect between the presidency and the people. Peter Obi offers a future where leadership isn't just about power, it is about the people. The choice is very clear. Nigeria needs a president who doesn't turn his back on the suffering of his people. A president who leads with heart and hands. Peter Obi's approach to leadership promises a future where the people come first and where the president's commitment to the nation is not just in words, but in every action he takes. In these challenging times, Nigeria needs a president who will be there, not just when it is convenient, but always. Fellow Nigerians, the ball is in your court to make sure that His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi becomes the President of Nigeria. To be forewarned is to be forearmed. You're watching Diaspora Digital Media. If you love this video, do not hesitate to hit the like button, make your comments, share my videos, and then subscribe to our YouTube channel. I am Coach Raphael. See you next time.